the beginning of our day. The other day I was listening to something and the speaker made an observation of a fundamental difference between Western ornamental gardens and Japanese Zen Buddhist gardens, in that the Western gardens tend to be designed around the flowering of the trees or the plants or the flowers, and they're incredibly beautiful, but it was in the right season. With your sort of Japanese Zen ornamental gardens, there's tended to be an emphasis on things like rocks and sand and moss, and so that tended to create an atmosphere that was kind of even all through the year. And I mean, of course, both are very beautiful in their own right, but there is a certain ethos or a certain value in that sense of consistency, steadiness that comes through the kind of a Japanese garden. And, I think, and certainly in terms of culturally, there tends to be a tremendous value on the extremes, extreme beauty, extreme happiness, and that's not emphasized so much in the Zen tradition. And of course it plays itself out, say, emotionally, psychologically as well, where we tend to get caught up in the moods of the mind and chasing after beauty, chasing after pleasure, chasing after inspiration, and going for the peaks and overlooking the kind of the steadiness, and it's sort of something comes to mind with Lompa Cha, where he said, what is really important for our success in practice is a consistency in the practice, a consistency in our training. He'd oftentimes say, you're inspired, you practice. You're bored, you practice. You got energy, you practice. You're tired, you practice. If things are going well, you practice. Things are not going well, you practice. There's an emphasis on that consistency and steadiness, and being willing to learn from that ordinariness rather than constantly gravitating to something quote unquote special. Because it is attractive. It is to experience something out of the ordinary. So kind of when your mind really settles and comes together, and sort of a kind of a piti sukha, right? That's really, it's quite wonderful. But do we invest all of our hopes and energy at trying to replicate that and maintain that? Or do we pay attention to what is it that helps to be consistent and steady? And mindfulness, patience, reflection and investigation of Dhamma, I think is what is much more fruitful in the long run. So just in terms of our day-to-day practice, be willing to let it be ordinary. Be willing to let it be steady and see what comes of that.